Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Police have identified the two people facing charges in connection to the shooting of a Sioux Falls police officer.
30-year-old Darren Richards and 22-year-old Loretta Betelyoun, both of Rapid City, are in the Minnehaha County Jail this morning. Richards is facing attempted murder of a law enforcement officer and a list of other charges, including aggravated assault and robbery.
He's being held on a $1 million cash bond. Betelyoun is facing charges of robbery and being an accessory to crime. Her bond is set at $500,000.
The suspected shooter was on parole, and this has Sioux Falls area law enforcement leaders sharing their frustration.
Sioux Falls Police Chief John Toome and Minnehaha County Sheriff Mike Milstead have voiced their concerns with the number of repeat offenders they deal with on a daily basis.
And I think it's something that the legislature is going to have to work on. I think it's something DOC's got to work on, and we need to have some immediate fixes.
And the frustration still is palpable when we've arrested somebody for countless times and they've committed multiple infractions, and then that's the same person that we're dealing with.
Milstead said that of the 400 Minnehaha County inmates in the jail Tuesday, more than 100 of them broke the law again while on parole.
The South Dakota Supreme Court has affirmed the conviction and sentence of a Rapid City man that threatened President Donald Trump.
Lucian Celestine was convicted in Pennington County after threatening to climb Mount Rushmore to shoot President Trump back in 2020. Celestine entered a guilty plea in November 2024 for attempted threat of felony terrorism.
In March 2025, Celestine was sentenced to 2.5 years in the South Dakota State Penitentiary with credit for time served. He later appealed his conviction and sentence, but the Supreme Court affirmed the court's judgment.
Well, now let's get a check on our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Summer. Good morning, everybody. We are following a cool day with scattered showers and thunder showers. It's in there about 20 to 30% chance to see something, as temperatures will reach the 50s and 60s. Low 60s today in central and western South Dakota. Probably stuck in the 50s for many across eastern KELOLAND. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. A Sioux Falls nonprofit has a new tool to help adults living with Alzheimer's or dementia.
Active Generations began using a special projector this week. It has 5 levels of interaction based on cognitive complexity.
The Interactive Projection Systems is a new tool from the Netherlands.
Tovertafel means magic table in Dutch. So they are actually based and made out of the Netherlands, and then they're sold by one company here in the United States. So Magic Table. We're creating magic, hope, and dignity here in our Adult Day programs.
Wendy McDonald says the goal is to have a projector at each of the 4 Active Generations locations.
Rapid City Solid Waste is making changes to when residents can recycle.
The Rapid City City Council voted to make the changes to reduce costs, and the new schedule starts May 4th.
With recycling, in December of last year, it was voted that we are going to move from a weekly collection to an every other week collection. So what that means for residents is that you are no longer going to get picked up every single week. You're now going to get picked up every other week. So it's very important to stay informed on what your week looks like.
Residents who miss their curbside recycling day can still recycle at all 3 yard waste sites in Rapid City.
It's a sure sign of spring in Sioux Falls.
The Lewis greenhouses received their first shipment of the year on Tuesday, but the staff is also ready for cool temps to stick around.
If we hit a certain temp, they're instructed to protect different plants. Last night was fairly cold around here, so you saw a lot of white cloth throughout our compounds, and a lot of things were moved into the greenhouse.
Staff are also conscious to only bring in plants that can handle the cooler weather. They're getting even more shipments this week and in the weeks to come.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching those temperatures. Yeah, 30s this morning, 50s later today, Sioux Falls, partly sunny. There could be a couple of cells on radar 2 wandering in from central KELOLAND, but we don't expect widespread rain, just enough here to mention those particular spots that'll bubble up during the peak heating of the day. But with this pretty chilly air mixed with April sunshine, And that's kind of a classic setup for that. So that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Rapid City also is prone to a couple of showers, maybe even Aberdeen and Sioux Falls. But if you miss that rain tomorrow, there's actually another chance that some of those same cells will redevelop in eastern KELOLAND. By the way, it's going to be back down in the 30s tomorrow morning and even chillier for highs tomorrow. The Northeast in particular, we're going to have a hard time getting much out of the mid to upper 40s in the afternoon. And with the northwest wind and any little bit of rain, yeah, you can kind of tell where that's going. That just feels kind of cold. How about the weather forecast for the weekend? Well, we'll warm up. Let's get into the numbers here. 58 today, Sioux Falls, 60 in Pierre. Isolated shower, thunder shower there. Northwest wind at 15 to 30 in Rapid City. But most of us will have a lighter wind than that. Tonight, we'll deal with light winds. We'll have low to mid 30s, pretty common, especially with some clearing after midnight. And then tomorrow we fill back in the clouds and temperatures roughly about 50 here Brookings, but let's call it in the 40s tomorrow for Watertown. 7-day forecast. It looks like upper 50s on Friday. Then we jump to the 60s by the weekend. A little bit warmer, and overnight lows will also start to come back up. And I think we'll carry that through Monday and Tuesday, but it just looks like another strong cold front probably comes in after day 7. So a little heads up for those looking to plant. We are still well within our reach of frost. Most of you know that, and it's already looking pretty likely there will be more frost after day 7. Aberdeen, we're in the 50s the next 3 days, but the weekend will turn around. 67 on Saturday, 63 Sunday. I do see a system that'll try to come through South Dakota Saturday night. We've kind of included that in some of our forecasts there for some showers. I don't think that's going to amount to a lot of moisture, but it is possible, and that may affect Pierre as well. A lot of your lows early next week, though, will come up, and we're also banking on a warm-up for Rapid City on Saturday. We feel pretty confident about that. We may drop a little bit Sunday, but back to 70 by Monday. Check out more details online at KELOLAND.com.